Count Corda, over the last few weeks, I have been looking at the emails and telephone messages that I have received from constituents. A lot of the names would be familiar to me. I've never heard from them previously. I've never thought that they would be as animated about this as to come forward and to put in 2 pages of an email what they felt about it, but they did. And I have to say that over time, those numbers have grown significantly. And we cannot, not that we cannot ignore them anymore, but they're telling a truth which we don't want to listen to. Now, last year on the Finance Committee, we dealt with the central bank and the bonds. We dealt with a number of other issues relative to Israel. And it has taken from before the last general election up to now for the government to be brought to the point where they're using words that they did not use before, even though those words are meaningless and are not strong enough at all. One of the things that comes across in the course of all of the emails I read was the failure of Europe to deal with it. The failure of Ireland, even though we're a small country within that union, to convince those in Europe that there is a serious issue here for the country to deal with, for Europe to deal with. And I condemn them for some of the actions the European Union have taken and some of the actions that they should have and have not taken. So what it requires now is a huge effort on the side of Europe and a huge effort on the side of Ireland within Europe to convince others that action is being demanded by the people that we represent. Nobody can condone what we see on our televisions and through the print media every day of the week. It is horrendous to think that in a modern world like ours, that we can have that type of murder and mayhem going on, that we are reluctant to call it genocide, that we are reluctant to take the action against another country in terms of highlighting our views simply because we may lose economically. And there are times when you have to put aside any economic advantage or consideration of any economic disadvantage and do the right thing. And only over the weekend, I met a lady who was quite upset about the whole issue, about the government and the European Union not doing what is expected of them, and that the genocide and murder continues. Now, I don't know what it takes in this House or of this House to come together with one voice and to state clearly just exactly where we stand, without any dressing up or any political packaging, just to say it clearly, and to encourage others to take the same position as us. The Occupied Territories Bill has gone round and round and round, and I commend Senator Black for her work in this area, but I think that we have left it and long-fingered it for far too long. The services need to be included in that bill. Let it be taken to whatever court that they want. Let it be challenged in whatever way that it has to be challenged. But we need to make that very definite statement as a country to ensure that our voice is heard and that the voices of the people that we represent is heard. And it is the deep disappointment that I read in the emails and communications to me of a feeling that people have that they are being overlooked, that they're not being heard, and that we are playing to the gallery in relation to the bigger group within the European Union. Now, the time has come when people would like to see democracy in action. They would like to see the European Union listening to them for once. They would like to see the members of the European Parliament coming together with the countries that they represent and making this statement that is now urgently required. And in terms of the humanitarian aid, again, it's absolutely shocking to think that the great powers in this world, the bigger powers in Ireland certainly, and the collective power of the European Union, has not achieved a free track of supply of humanitarian aid to where it's most needed. We can argue about who is right and who is wrong in relation to what's happening, but the bottom line is that the women and children and men that you see being murdered on our television screens, that is not their fault. So whatever is going on, it should be put aside. There should be permission given for the humanitarian aid to pass freely to where it's needed. And Europe, because we're not getting that direction from America, the European Union needs to take that strong hand. And I hope that Ireland will, and there's still time to do it, correct its pretty weak position and take a strong leadership role within the European Union and do the right thing on behalf of the citizens of this country.